7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Barry's here. Yes, he is. Don't know why, it just makes me laugh. It just seeing Barry's face just makes me laugh. But Barry, yes, we've got a new mask in town. We've got more masks on the way as well. Anybody else who's got any ideas for masks, you can let me know in the comments. But good morning to all of you on YouTube, on Facebook. Sam here, United People's TV. You know the drill by now. I'm live somewhere between 10 a.m. and 10:03 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday, with the latest news show. And I really genuinely do need a show every single day, because the news is coming so fast from all angles at Manchester United, as are the games. We played Arsenal there, what was it, on Sunday, 4:30. Now, 8 o'clock tonight, we've got the League Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest. I'll be previewing that a little bit later in the show. It is going to be about the Glazers, first and foremost, and the full sale of Manchester United. An article from Mike Keegan. Now, Mike Keegan isn't on the same level as David Ornstein or James Ducker or Paul Hurst, Simon Stone. It's kind of the tier down. So I'm not going to say this is the gospel truth, but I'm going to be here bringing you the latest from Mike Keegan on the Glazers and the full sale of Manchester United. I'm also then going to run through some really important quotes and comments from Ten Hag on his ambitions at Manchester United, on Antony, on Anthony Martial, on the game tonight. There's so much to run through. There really, really is. Who's down here in the comments? Let's have a look. Good morning to you, Stuart. We've got, who we got on Facebook? Let's shout out some Facebook watchers first. We've got Byron. We've got Praise Junior. We've got Ibrahim. Good morning to you. John Moore, I can see you there as well. And Taiwo. Good morning to everyone on Facebook. Who's on here from the members gang, though? Anthony Ganley. We've got Mats, Declan, Julie. Good morning to you. Ash, I can see. Ash? Who's Ash? I mean, Anne. Ian Robertson. T, you're there as well. Josh. And Tyler, Charlie, Jay Shao, Sam Chiang, Kieran. Man, indeed I am, James. We are going to do it anyway. Look at him. Look how happy he is. His face is huge. I wonder if his head, I reckon his head is that big in real life. At some point, I'm going to be getting Barry. I should get Barry on for a podcast. Maybe not for a full podcast. Get him on as a guest here in the morning. That'd be good fun. But I suppose I've got a smile on my face because I'm here talking about the full sale of Manchester United. Yesterday, we ran through the article from Adam Crafton from The Athletic on Qatar. A really in-depth article on Qatar. Qatari interest in buying Manchester United. And the interesting comment, he said that Qatar expect a Saudi Arabia consortium to come forward with a bid to buy the club. Let's find out what goes on there. Oh, look at that, Fatty, man. That's really generous of you, man. What a super chat that is. And he's not wrong. Smash a like on the video, mate. The communities. Can you let me know, Anthony? I appreciate that, by the way. The podcast. I've got really big plans for the podcast this season. To make it bigger and better. So everybody who supported the podcast so far, big up to you. But hopefully we can level it up soon. So I'm speaking to someone to get that sorted. And what I want to quickly say here to anyone in the community. This community is incredible, and I want to do more for it. And I keep saying that. Anybody who's in the Telegram group, in the members only chat, can you come in there after the show and just any ideas of things that you think I could be doing or should be doing? Maybe that's a little bit of more members only content. I was thinking maybe doing like a Q&A once a week where only members can send in questions. But if there's any other things that you feel that the community would benefit from if I organized, let me know in the community chat on the Telegram. In the members only channel after this show, because I want to do more and I want to give back. So, but I suppose I want to do a brainstorm with the members. If there's anything you think that I should be doing that I'm not doing, anyway, we'll do that after. I think there's someone down there. Let me quickly pull this one up there. Let me just close that. Indeed, mate, look at that, man. JVD, hero, both of you, Fatty and JVD. I can't see the 10 that you've given it to, but JVD gifting 10 memberships there. And Abik, welcome on board, my friend. What a good morning here. I think everybody is just, mate, the anticipation is killing me. The anticipation about what is coming in these next probably 6-7 weeks. I can't fucking wait. I cannot wait. We're still in the stage of I suppose, the informal stage of this sale process, but it's about to crank up. And when it does, it's going to start getting serious. Let me run through this article from Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail. Now, Mike Keegan is a journalist who's been in and around the Manchester United team for a long old time. Kind of one of the OGs. Remember when Mark Ogden was one of the best journalists. I always remember it. That Mark Ogden was one of the first people to break the news of Fergie retiring. That was when Mark Ogden, David McConnell, was it David McConnell? Disco Mirror, and Mike Keegan as well. This is what Mike Keegan is saying on the sale of Manchester United, and more importantly, the full sale of Manchester United. Real C, right down there. JVD is a legend. JVD is jumping into the same circle as your Gunkshies, as your Warren G's. Man, there's so many community leaders here. It's amazing. Really, really are. This is what Mike Keegan is saying. The Glazers family's search for investment in United is likely to result in a full sale, with the process set to move to a more formal stage in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, let's absolutely remember this. Lee and Kylie, I'm not reading that comment out. You need to be better than that. You need to be better than that. Somebody, I think, all got me once. That's the only time that someone's got me so far. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it. Piss off. Don't do it, please, because we'll trip up. Mike Keegan's saying that the full sale is the most likely option. I'm going to not option, most likely outcome, and I'll run through the actual article in a second there. But it's the next 3 to 4 weeks. Remember that everything that we've heard since pretty much the story came out about the strategic investment opportunities was that they were looking for a sale in Q1. And Q1 ends in March. Q1 is January, February, March, right? First quarter of the year. So we've got just shy of 2 months, 8 weeks. It's all currently, we say it quietly, but it feels like it's on course. Let's see how it continues. I'm sure there's going to be hurdles. I'm sure there's going to be delays that are going to come up. But at this moment in time, everything seems to be on course for that Q1 deadline. Kieran, then I see you joining as a member, dude. Helen, you're saying, going to Old Trafford on Saturday. Last match I went to was a derby match before lockdown. Was that McTominay? I think that was McTominay. Mate, enjoy the game. Should be a cracker. Wow, you'd hope so. Should absolutely be pumping Reading. No offense to Reading. Antony is saying a bid will be accepted, not a sale. No, Antony, they are Manchester United and the Rain Group are trying to sell the club by the end of Q1. That's the aim. It's not about a bid. It's about a sale. Anyway, Manchester United's search for investment is likely to result in the full sale of the club. Early indications are that the latter is more appealing to those who have so far registered interest in terms of the idea of minority or majority. United's American owners, the Glazers family, remain open to all options, but you know full well that Manchester United right now, my words, I hate the Daily Mail website. Sorry. Every time you scroll down this damn page, it loads another advert, reloads that dumb video. Piss off. Anyway, sorry, I'm shouting and swearing because it annoys me. I used to run a website, and you have to find a balance between the advertising revenue and it impacting on the ability to actually read the website. And Daily Mail is one of the worst for it. Some wondered whether the sums involved may rule out new ownership, but that does not appear to be the case. After November's announcement, the situation remains in the early stages. Blah, 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 blah. It is understood that the matter will move to a more formal stage in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And look at the figures involved down here. It can be disclosed that despite an expected price of between 6 and 8 billion, man, I still personally think everyone's guessing. I still think everyone's guessing about the price of Manchester United, aren't they? They've got no idea. 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7, 8, 9, 10 billion. Maybe not million, probably billion. They're still guessing. But this idea that I suppose Man United, not this idea, it's what we all want. We want the Glazers out. We want totally new owners of our football club. But we've all had sort of like the fear. I'll be honest, I've had the fear in the last couple of weeks because I've had to do coverage on Qatar and the concept of minority investment after we know full well that they are looking at Premier League clubs. Spurs are more likely option because then I think that would be perfect for Daniel Levy. Absolutely perfect. It will all of a sudden have money. He won't have to do anything. Just to sell off part. That's perfect. Realistically, I don't care how much Manchester United is sold for, right? I just want Manchester United to be sold. Given that Chelsea was sold for 4.25, of course, including the 1.5 billion worth of investment. So I think it was 2.75, the actual price of it. United will go for it will be a world record price for a franchise, a sports franchise. Speaking in very American terms here, but that's what it's classed as at this stage when it comes to business. An article, interesting article here from on the follow-up of that article there from Mike Keegan. This is from Colin Miller, who, funnily enough, fun fact, used to write on thepeoplesperson.com. Look at that. Big up to Colin. He was a good guy. And that was my old website. Jim Ratcliffe forced to change Manchester United takeover plan. What's he saying? The Glazer family has reportedly decided to make a full sale, and this is following up on the back of that. And he's also saying the same thing in terms of the price. Where is it down here? Where is it? Is it up here? Man, these websites got so many damn things on. Where's the price? Mirror Football understands the family is looking for as much as 8 billion. Jeez. Carl, you're down there with a comment saying, surely if it's 8 billion, it includes the debt being cleared and Carrington in the stadium. And this is the thing, right? We've got absolutely no idea what the... I'm sorry for bringing these dirty little people on screen here, but I'm going to keep them on there for a moment because there's something I want to show you as well, which will make me laugh. Well, it makes me laugh. It makes you laugh as well. If it's 8 billion, that really should include clearing the debt. We don't know at this moment in time whether or not the debt is going to be involved as part of the deal. It should be. It doesn't necessarily have to be, right? I spoke to Kieran Maguire about this. It should be. And that's something that I'm scared of as well. I'm worried about minority investment. I'm worried about new owners coming in and the debt not getting written off. It should absolutely be wrapped up, but it's not guaranteed. We'll have to make sure we keep focus on that when the formalized bids come in, because we need to understand what the actual structure of these bids are. Are they just paying hypothetically, 8 billion? That's not that. It's not going to be 8 billion. Let's go 6 billion. Is that going to be just for the club, or is that going to be 6 billion, which includes a 1 billion pledge for a new Old Trafford and a new Carrington? Is that going to be including a 1.5 billion pledge to pay off all the debt, plus a new stadium, plus a new... There's so many things. Nobody knows what the actual structure of the bids are going to be. And you're down there. That's what I just said there. I don't care about what the actual sale price is, right? Andrew, you're saying the sale price won't involve any investment package. It's exactly what happened at Chelsea. So I don't particularly know how or why you can just completely dismiss that as a concept. Because it happened at Chelsea with the Premier League club that was sold literally a few months ago. It absolutely could happen that Manchester United are sold with pledges of investment as part of the overall price. Does that mean that the Glazers... No, the Glazers wouldn't get more money. Anyway, the reason I pulled this up on screen, I'm not sure if any... This is really random, by the way. This might be one of the most random things I've ever done here on United People's TV. The Glazers. Anybody else used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I used to watch it. It was on like Tuesday night. I think it was Fresh Prince, then Simpsons, then Buffy. I think that's what it was. It was in that order. There was those three shows. Anyway, they looked like the gentlemen from Buffy. And I remember these two dudes. They used to scare the crap out of me. I used to have nightmares about these. Every time I see them, I just can't help but think they just remind me of these two dudes. Random one. A really random one, I know. But I was randomly watching that video this morning before when I was preparing the show. But yeah, look at them. Dirty little undead floating bastards. Get out of the club. Anyway, I'm looking forward to them leaving. And according to Mike Keegan, the full sale is the most likely scenario. Every scenario is a possibility, right? And that's going to strike the fear of God into all of us. But I'm looking forward to this really reaching the formal stage, the next stage. Because if stage one was the club announcing that we're up for strategic investment, Number 2, which is at the period we're at now, that's the formalization of the offers. Not the offers themselves, but the formalization of interest. Ineos has been first to the table. There's definitely been some US consortiums who are doing stuff behind the scenes. We haven't really heard. We've heard about Harrison Blitzer. We've heard about 6th Street. There'll probably be others as well. We haven't heard anything formally about Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, or any of those yet. I'm sure that will come. It's about to really crank up another few notches. I'm excited about it. What do you reckon, Barry? I think Barry's got something to say.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
Oh, man. I seriously can't wait to get... Just makes me laugh. Just makes me laugh. You're allowed to laugh sometimes, right? Doesn't always have to be formal. Now, today, something that's happening, which is going to be semi-interesting, is that Manchester United Supporters Trust and the Spirit of Shankly, they are the 2 biggest fan organisations inside Manchester United and Liverpool. And today, there's going to be a joint statement released. I'm not sure. Maybe it's already happened. Maybe it's going to happen whilst we're live on this stream together. But it is a call from United and Liverpool fans, because in I think it's roughly about 3 weeks' time, something very important is happening. Mohammed down there with a question: is it available on Apple? Yes, it's available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and Google, all the places that you would listen to a podcast. But back to this. Something's happening in the next few weeks. The government are releasing their white paper on an independent regulator inside football, and certainly when it comes to owners and ownership, because we know full well that the Glazers should never have been allowed to take over Manchester United. I think there's now anti-Glazer rules built in to finding new owners. I remember that at the time when Chelsea were being bought by Todd Bowley, who really looks like another Red Woodward. It's really important. Let me read through some of this statement here from Duncan Drasdo and from Joe Block. Said this: a joint statement. By common consent, our clubs are the biggest in English football. With a combined worldwide fan base of over 200 million, they are widely recognised global institutions. In fact, perhaps 2 of the most well-known British institutions worldwide. That global profile would attract many potential bidders, including some whose primary motivations may not respect either the cultural heritage of our clubs or the values and interests of supporters. We think that should be a matter of importance to the government. Just as the government would not allow our most important cultural or heritage assets to fall into unfit or improper hands, it should not allow our football clubs to do so either. It's a really important message that's coming out from Must and from the Spirit of Shankly, because it's correct, right? And this is the fine line that I suppose we're all going to be walking as Man United fans, that Liverpool fans are all going to be walking with their new owners, in getting the right owners in that value the heritage and the culture of the football club, whilst also having the assets and the ability and the ambition to take Manchester United, hopefully not Liverpool, definitely not Liverpool, but to take Manchester United back to the very top, which is exactly where Ten Hag wants us to be. And that's why there's, in my opinion, I can't just, with open arms, invite any new owner in. I have to look at every single one of them with a skeptical eye. And I have done. I've done it with Jim Ratcliffe. I've looked into his Nice ownership. Although it might be Disney on paper, is he the best option? I've done that. I've done it about Dubai. Dubai could be brilliant with the money they were bringing, but there will be different questions. And I did the interview with Nick McGeehan. I've tried to be as fair and as unbiased with every option, because there is no perfect owner. It's just true. There is no good billionaire. That's one thing that we have to remember. If you're a billionaire, you stamped on a few heads to get there. That's why you're a billionaire. But yeah, I'll be interested to read this full statement when it gets released a little bit later on today. But make sure you do read it as well. It'll be a joint statement from the Spirit of Shankly and from Must as well. Fatty, you're saying if someone can afford 6 billion, they can afford to pay off the debt, revamp or build a new stadium in my opinion. Well, when it comes to that debt, something you have to consider is that if that debt isn't paid off, whoever becomes the new owner all of a sudden is losing what, between 20 and 40 million pounds a year because they're servicing a debt that isn't theirs. So that will take away from their own profits when you think about it like that, and the overall value of Manchester United. Samuel, I just joined in. Who's on the mannequin? You haven't been here long enough, but I'm sure you'll find out at some point soon. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Ra, you're saying no oil money once it dries up will be used, as will City, PSG, and now Newcastle. Well, I don't think oil money is going to dry up in a long old time. I get the idea. I get that. Idea and execution are two different things. I hope the government is serious about it. It's a good comment there from Sam. Of course, this is something that Gary Neville's been pushing for a long, long time. Right? I could have done it again there, but that's too much Barry for the first 20 minutes of the show, right? FP would absolutely spot on there. It doesn't really look, of course it matters who our new owners are. I'm not going to try and say it doesn't. It doesn't. It absolutely matters who our new owners are. But just as important as who our new owners are the people that are brought in to work for Manchester United. Who will be our new CEO? Because it sure as hell shouldn't be Richard Arnold. I don't think so anyway. Should John Murtough be keeping his job there? Extremely questionable. I think there's been progress behind the scenes. I don't doubt there's been progress, but he is a man learning on the job. And new owners will not want men learning on the job. They will want the best in class. They will go for that Gary Neville concept of best in class, the best technical director, the best sporting director, same thing. Best coaches, they've already got that in Erik ten Hag. The best players, well, we'll see that in the transfer market. The best CEO. Edwin, Van der Sar is coming to Man United at some point. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but he's already talked about it. He's like, now is not the right time to leave Ajax. But he goes, there's only two clubs I've really worked for. Ajax is one of them. You know who the other one is. That's Manchester United. I'd love to get Van der Sar in the next couple of years. New owners. Imagine that. Oh, imagine that. New owners coming in and then Van der Sar coming in as a CEO. That's exciting. Look at that down here. I think, mate, the Don himself. Yes, it is. The real OG, the actual Marlon Brando. I'm going to start calling you Marlon Brando. Gungshi dropping in 10 memberships, man. Rogerio, Mohammed Wayne, Paul, Franklin, Shubham, Marshall, Akadri. Who else? I don't know who else. Too many comments there, but mate, look at the love down there. The love in the community is absolutely fantastic. Gungshi, gifts are flooding in. Go Gungshi indeed. He is legendary. Legendary indeed. Marlon Brando with the channel. Al, you're saying, is Van der Sar actually a good CEO? I mean, he is. Of course he is. You've seen the success that he's had at Ajax. You've seen what he's built. You're saying there are people better than Van der Sar, to be honest. There is a connection with Van der Sar and Manchester United. Yes, and I'm not going to be stuck in the old boys gang. Oh, let's just bring in people who were at the club before. That was kind of a mindset which really kind of dragged us downwards rather than helped us go upwards. You're saying, no, Van der Sar, he's not able. Wow. Jeez, that's really not surprising. That's really quite surprising. I think that's a fair question, Harry, which I'd have to do some research into. But there's no doubting that Van der Sar is good at what he does, and let's not pretend otherwise, right? I think he's done a very, very good job at Ajax. He obviously had the Holy Trinity when it was Van der Sar and Overmars and Ten Hag, but you can get 2/3 of that at United. Let's run through some pretty cool comments, I think so, from Erik ten Hag. Ahead of the game tonight, I'm going to run through the second part of his press conference. You know, the embargo press conference always happens. Main press conference comes out when the main is about 12:30, and at 10:30, the night before the game, second part comes out. And all the juicy comments are always in the embargoed one. Jonesy, how very dare you? My odds are decreasing. Where's my gifted membership? Hey, look, remember everybody that the gifted memberships are exactly that. It is a gift from somebody. And it is this, I still can't believe it happens. Constantly can't believe it happens. That it's the greatest compliment that anybody can give this channel and this community is that you enjoy it so much, you're willing to invite other people into the community. It's the best thing you can do. Anybody who's just been gifted a membership, please go to the community tab on the YouTube page after this live stream. In there, you'll find the link to the members only Telegram. You won't find it anywhere else. All right. And mods, can you share? Can you help guide people there? Because people ask me that all the time and I can't always tell them. But look, this is what Ten Hag said for the game. I absolutely love this comment. He said, we aim to construct the best team. First in England, then in Europe, then in the world. Man, Ten Hag is a good speaker, man. He is. Gets me hyped up. And he gets the players hyped up as well. Gets the people going. It's provocative. He's not provocative. Maybe he is behind the scenes. Anyway, getting distracted. He talks a good game. And he follows that up with the actions, with how Manchester United are performing. We've got a long old way to get to even the first team in England. City, we know, well, we've beaten City, yes. But City as an entity, as a football club, we've got, that is where we are years off. And I have to say we are years off that. As a football team, I think, look, give it 2 years. Oh dear, didn't turn my phone on silent. Unbelievable. Give it 2 years, and I think maybe even less than 2 years. But our football is catching up to where City, and we've competed and beaten City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs at Old Trafford. We competed with Arsenal away and we fell just short in those decisive moments. And the quality wasn't quite there. But as a football club, man, there is a lot that we need to do behind the scenes to improve and get towards City. That really is definitely the truth. We're definitely a couple of years off that. Dominic as well. Man, look at that. Dom dropping in 10. Dominic Toretto and Marlon Brando jumping in here. Elvis, Chris, Rodney. Don't see many Rodneys these days. Hello, Rodney. Harry, Nweke, Dylan, and Isiaka. You are some of the lucky people. But I can't see all the 10 there. And there is a super chat there from someone. Dave, how you doing, buddy? He's saying you have to love his winning attitude. Well, speaking of winning attitude, look at that for a segue. There's just, I just really like listening to this. I might do this as a video, like kind of. I don't think it's dependent on the result tonight. I've seen a little bit of a difference in the rhetoric, which is the language that Ten Hag uses in terms of the mentality, right? Stage one, I feel like we've gone through certain stages of the mentality growth and improvement. And I feel like Ten Hag's trying to take it up to the next one, right? And that's about winning trophies and winning titles. This is what Ten Hag said. He goes, winning trophies gives you confidence. Once you're winning trophies, that gives you confidence that you know how to do it. And also in the difficult moments, how you stay in the game. How you stay in the game to win games. That you know the chances will come. And I think finally, winning trophies is mental to get that. To know how you win that. Winning games is one, but winning trophies is another thing. And in those decisive moments, you know what to do. It's a thin line, but I think we grow a lot mentally. And this is what I mean. These aren't the conversations that Ten Hag was having at the start of the season. He was like the basic mentality, working together as a team, fighting spirit, all the basic things that we weren't doing. But because we've kind of got that. We're building that. Going into the Arsenal game, we have won 9 and drawn 1 of the last 10 games. So it feels like Ten Hag's like, right, cool. Okay, this group is coming together now. Now I can have conversations about trophies, about decisive moments, about staying in games. If Ten Hag had tried to have this conversation on the first day of pre-season, everybody would have looked at him like he was speaking a foreign language. Because the players weren't ready for that at that point. And that's what I mean about progression, about taking it up the levels. And I definitely think this deserves a video in itself. I might do it tomorrow. Mixed Tubes, you're saying, hi Sam, would be nice to have fans buy shares in United. Mixie from Papua New Guinea. Look at that. Cool place, man. The fans share at this moment in time. The only thing you can do is go to the New York Stock Exchange and just buy some shares. But remember, they're going to be B-class shares, no voting rights. But technically, you have a share in Manchester United if you really, really want it. We want that fan ownership scheme. Remember how much that's gone. Remember, that was what Joel Glazer promised after the European Super League. Oh, it's almost like they lie. It's almost like they don't fulfill their promises. Who predicted that, apart from absolutely everybody? But let's find out what goes on there. What's the next point I want to speak on? Yeah, this is a good. There's some really good comments from Ten Hag yesterday. On the extra pressure. Pressure belongs. I think we like the pressure and we need the pressure. That's good. We have to deal with that. It gives us more motivation so that we perform even better. And I'm sure you felt it, because I've certainly felt it. Going into the game against City at Old Trafford and going into the game against Arsenal at the Emirates were two games where I felt a little bit different going into it, because I realized what winning those games would have meant, and the pressure. It was a more nervous watch. It was a harder watch as a fan, because you know that there's something on the line there that you haven't quite had for a while. And that's why that win against City was so big. When you saw me, I didn't really know. I can't speak. I couldn't really speak after that. I was buzzing. But it is those pressure moments, and they're the best times in football. When you come out of those games or those moments on the right side of it. Because looking down the other side is a big drop-off, but looking up there is great. And that's what we want. We haven't really been in these situations for a long time as a club. We've been nobodies. Rarely have we been particularly relevant. But that's changing now. And yeah, we do want that pressure. And Ten Hag wants that pressure. And tonight there is big pressure, right? There is big pressure on the game tonight. Jordan saying, thank you very much to the mods for keeping it. Mate, big up to all the mods. Big up to every single one of you. I'm not going to name any of you, because you're all, you got Ant, you got Josh, you got T, you got Paula, you've got all the other mods. I apologize if I forget any names. I'm just trying to remember whilst I'm live. I can't do that. The mods really help this community, because I remember when we started this and the comments used to be crazy. There used to be so much spam going in, but I've turned it to members to subscribers only, 30 seconds per comment. And it means that the conversations flow, and the actual comments you send in, I can interact with, and they really do help the show. So big up to all of you. But look, man, there are so many talking points. We're half an hour into the show. I guarantee you want to stick around here for the next half an hour. There's so many good points that we've still got coming up. Fatty, I don't know what super sticker is, but it's pretty super. Don, thank you very much, dude. Daisy as well. Thank you very much for helping the channel. But look, let's go and talk about Marcus Rashford. Ten Hag is telling Rashford to snub PSG and stay at United. You remember what it was in the summer, right? When I'm pretty sure Rashford's brother is his agent. Is he his agent? I think he represents him in some way, shape, or form. I don't know whether he's his agent, but I think he is. And we were like, what are you doing? We didn't know whether it was just paper guff, whether it was Rashford trying to angle for a move away. But obviously, Rashford had a pretty uneventful season last season. Poor season, just like every other United player. And there were so many people that were saying, sod it, cash in on him, get rid of him. But look at Marcus Rashford now. Absolutely flying. Beyond belief. Beyond levels that he's done before. Any levels that he's done before. And going into this game against Nottingham Forest tonight, if he starts, you back him to score. You'd absolutely back him right now. And this is what Ten Hag was saying about Marcus Rashford. He was asked about talks progressing in terms of the contract. He goes, the last question I can't answer. It's confidential between the talks and the clubs and the players. I think he understands United is his club. That's first. But also in this environment, in this team, I think he's playing his best football. He is improving. And that is about him, because he is working on the good things. He is given 100% energy in it, and he has a good plan. And I think also in this team, he can bring his qualities. So this team can help him be in the right position to score goals, which he is good at. This team is constructed that his qualities come to the fore. And I think he knows that. Definitely, yes, he is important for us. If we want to get the success we want, we need him. Rashford has really emerged as one of the, he's one of the leaders of this Ten Hag team. One of those players. Right now, we said it in the podcast this week, right? If Rashford gets injured, we're kind of snookered. If Rashford gets injured, the shape of Manchester United's attack, I don't like the look of it. I don't know where goals will come from if Rashford's not in that team. He's at this moment, he has taken the level of our attack up. That's why we need Antony to be stepping in and stepping up. Weghorst to be stepping in with some goals. I'm going to be speaking about both of those two in a little bit. Jadon Sancho to come back in. What Rashford is doing this season is brilliant. Not only from the perspective of how Ten Hag has clearly helped him as a coach, and Benny McCarthy. Clearly, they have both helped him as a coach, but Rashford himself, he's working, he's grafting in games, in training, everything clearly is heading in the right direction. And I don't think we'll be seeing Rashford going anywhere. I think he'll be signing that new long-term deal, and I'm looking forward to it. Judy, thank you very much. Super chat saying, make sure everyone drops a like on the video. What have we got here? We've got 1,800 of you watching. Only 500 of you have liked the video. 1,300 of you right now. Boom. Drop a like on the video. And if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Would love to have you as part of the community. Come on in. It's interactive. I try and answer as many of your questions as I possibly can. So you should come in for the show. Martin, that's a good idea. Casemiro, you can join the Barry gang. And Ten Hag. Gungshi, you keep that secret card secret, sir. All right? Because if anybody finds out about it, it's bad news. Now, there's something that we need to have a conversation about here. I'm going to do a separate video today. I'm going to do a video before the game on Antony Martial, and I'll explain that a little bit later. We're going to be speaking about a different Antony, the Antony, who I think he's a player right now. I wouldn't say he's dividing United fans, but there's murmurs, right? There's no doubt that he's contributed goals. Yes, absolutely. But I think we saw it in that first half against Arsenal. We saw a bit of a more direct Antony. And I think that's the buzzword. It's a word that Ten Hag uses, right? It's a word that Ten Hag uses. And I think it's a word that we really want to be using more with Antony. Because I'd say that's probably the biggest criticism we've all got of his game so far, is he's not direct enough. He seems to be, instead of squaring up to a defender and trying to skip past them, he's taken the safer option and turning around. Luca with an absolutely fucking outrageous comment here. Maybe, why do people... I don't get it. People just love to... Oh, yeah, he's been a complete flop. Right, mate. Yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night, if you want to jump to mad conclusions like that. Let's actually listen to what Erik Ten Hag has said about him. I think every time he's not losing games, when he's playing, Manchester United are winning. That already gives a message of how well he is performing. He can do better. I see space for improvement. Now, I suppose my big faith in Antony is the fact that Ten Hag has faith in him. Like, he went all out to sign Antony. You know, something I personally feel, a gut instinct that I feel, is I think the main reason that Erik Ten Hag signed Antony was for his personality, was for his temperament, was for his attitude in training, on the pitch. Guy's a scrapper. Guy's a fighter. And I think first and foremost, that was probably the main reason why Ten Hag really wanted to bring Antony in. And I think we've seen that pretty much since day one. Guy's got a great work ethic, not really defensively. I think that has to improve. But I think it feels like Ten Hag wanted his personality first and foremost. But there's no doubt that he needs to improve in the overall ability to influence games. And that's something that Ten Hag speaks about. He said, we want Antony to be more direct and more involved. But as I said, the team is performing better if he's on the pitch. That's a good thing. That's a good base to build further. I think he's already made an improvement. But right there, that's the word I said. That's the buzzword with Antony. He's got to be more direct. Antony has to realise, I don't know, maybe it was different at Ajax. Any Ajax fans in the comments, you can let me know. I don't think it was, though. United fans are so much more forgiving for wingers who will try and take their man on and not succeed, rather than wingers who just take the easy route out, turn back. The same kind of goes for anywhere on the pitch, really. To a certain point, Nani was always a man who tried everything, and then people got pissed off and frustrated about that, but we were spoiled at that time. We were absolutely spoiled when we had Nani in the team. He does need to be more direct. He has got some pace. Mate, I'll tell you what, that was a bit sad, wasn't it? Watching Thomas Partey absolutely skip and catch up 10 yards on Antony. I don't know whether he slipped, but yeah, that was a bit weird. He also said this, in his first 3 games, he scored 3 goals. Now he scored against Everton. He was scoring against Charlton. I think with his capability and his talent, he can do more. As I said, I think he's made a good contribution to the team. But it's clear and obvious here, right? Ten Hag says, Antony can do better. I see space for improvement. Antony needs to be more direct. Ten Hag knows exactly what the problems are with Antony. But he's also not going crazy like Luca. Oh, he's a flop. It's just not correct. It's not fucking true. You know he's not a flop. So why are you labeling it? I don't get it. I really, for the life of me, don't get why people jump to conclusions so quick. Like they want to be proved correct because they're the first to write somebody off or the first to say this person's great. It's a weird flex. It's a really weird flex. Leverai is saying, happy to help. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's amazing. But Antony, somebody said, look, Antony himself, he knows, quote unquote, right there. Important week for us, seeking to evolve, to give my best to the team, right? You've got Ten Hag saying that he can be better and he needs to improve. You've got Ten Hag saying that he needs to be more direct. And you've got Antony there saying that he himself is seeking to evolve. Not every player comes in and immediately lights it up, even though Antony did. He fucking scored in his debut. He scored, what, 3 goals in his first 3 games? He lit it up at the beginning. Then it's got a little bit muted. I've got no doubt that Antony is only going to grow in importance for this Manchester United team. Jonesy, I'm not here suggesting that people can't criticize Antony, because I can criticize. He needs to be more direct. He needs to be more confident. He needs to, as he says there, evolve his game. Cool. That's called constructive criticism. Pointing out areas that you're scoring goals, good, but you need to be influencing games more. That's called management. Calling someone a flop, how does that help anyone? Oh, you're a flop. Oh, thanks. How can I do? No, I'm not going to try and help you. You don't. No, you're just shit. Nah. Sell him. Get another one in. It's madness. It's madness. Gungshi down there, look, he has got some self-awareness. He knows he's not being good enough overall in Manchester United to just hold that right wing spot. When Jadon Sancho comes back in, I think Jadon Sancho is going to be starting there. It's going to be competition. Maybe that will help him. But I find it weird. Luca, maybe you just become the scapegoat because you've decided to say that he's a flop in the comments. But there are quite a few people who are in that category as well. And I just find it really, really weird. Really weird. I think it was the game for Arsenal. I think it was Crystal Palace was probably the first game where I personally was like, damn, Antony, man, he needs to be more direct. He needs to be better. I was more forgiving in the first couple of months because I realised it's not easy to move clubs and to move to Manchester United. It is a different beast altogether. I'm not sure if you've listened to it. I could only listen to like the bit on United because I've got PTSD. But I listened to the David Moyes Diary of a CEO podcast with Stephen Bartlett, where he was explaining about how he found out he was being sacked by Manchester United. No prizes for guessing who was a dick in that sense. It was Ed Woodward. He didn't tell him. He found out from the media. But David Moyes sort of explaining what it was like to be United manager. He described it as sort of living in a penthouse. And then as soon as you're out of the penthouse, like nothing is the same. Like the views aren't the same. But when you're in that penthouse, everybody is there with the Batman searchlight and spotlight. The levels at Manchester United are just different altogether. Antony was brilliant at Ajax. Really exciting at Ajax. But no disrespect to Ajax, the levels are just completely, and the expectations and the pressures are just different at Manchester United. And that sometimes can swallow players up. Sometimes players thrive in it. And Antony did thrive at the start. I think he'll come good, but let's just not be crazy, right? Let's not try and say he was a flop. It's just absolutely balmy, right? It's absolutely balmy. Speaking of Antony, a different Antony. This is what Ten Hag has been saying about Martial. He said he's not constantly injured. He is playing games. He has to work on that, and he has to be more available. And he can't do nothing for it in that sense. It is sometimes also bad luck. He goes, when Martial is there, he's really important for us because we play our best football when he is available. He has to be aware of that as well. If we want to be successful, we need him. And the first thing is he has to be available. Now, I'm going to put this down as today's poll. It won't be a long poll because how long we got left? Another 20 minutes of the show, something like that. Antony Martial, right? After summer, not past the summer, this summer, what do? Do you keep or do you sell him? That's going to be the poll for today because I, in my opinion, am pretty firm on this. And I'm going to, this is what my video is going to be on at lunchtime today. This isn't, there's going to be Martial FC fans up in the comments, but I don't care. I don't care. I have Ronaldo FC fans up in my comments calling me all sorts of names under the sun until I was proven completely correct about Ronaldo. And I feel pretty confident. I feel confident enough to speak about this with Antony Martial. This summer is where Manchester United need to cash in on him. This football club has got a horrendous reputation of holding on to players with the hope that it's going to work out until the point where we've held on to that player for so long that we can't sell that player for a good amount of money. Antony Martial, when we started this season, I was filled with such hope about him. In the preseason, I would say he was Martial and Delot were probably the two best players. Really, really enjoyed watching him. He clearly loved the system. Ten Hag clearly loved him. It was exciting. And then the exact same thing has happened again. Injuries have curtailed the progress of Martial. And you can say that exact same conversation about pretty much every season past. Did he even get injured in his debut season? I can't remember. That's when he scored 15 goals under Van Gaal. This is the summer where Manchester United, we always call it, we always want the club to be ruthless. Yes, it is ruthless, but ruthless within reason. This is the time where Manchester United have to say, you know what? We can't afford, because we've got this manager in charge now, whose aim is to build the best team in the world. We've got a manager with massive ambition in Erik Ten Hag. I don't particularly feel that we can hold on to Martial anymore. Now, the bigger issue is probably the scale of the amount of players that could leave this summer, right? I did this tweet after. I'm going to read a few of your comments down here, but I said this. I said, look, Martial, Maguire, Telles, Henderson, Jones, Williams, you could, and there's conversations about McTominay or Van der Beek or Elanga. I said this. I said there is so much opportunity for Manchester United to make really good money. Good money in this summer transfer window. Martial, I have no idea what the figures of all these players are, but I'm looking at Martial as minimum a £20 million player. Arguably a little bit more, really. We should be. How much was, I think Willock went to like Newcastle for like 25. Martial should be worth at least 20, probably a little bit more. Maguire, now it might not, his stock with Manchester United fans isn't that great, but Maguire, he holds value. Maguire's somewhere in the 30 million, I would say. Newcastle, that'd be a good one. Newcastle, you fancy him? Telles, don't know, 10 million. Henderson should be in excess of 20 million. Jones, packet biscuits. Williams, no idea. Something like 5. Either way, you're looking at somewhere between 100 and 200 million. And you can throw, Twanzebe will probably be going in that category there as well. This has to be the summer where United do it. It's been a big problem for us. It's the reason why we made such a huge loss. We've been shit at selling players. And for me, this is the summer where I personally, I've checked out with Antony Martial. I know that Ten Hag is right. We play better football when he's in the team. But it doesn't happen often enough. And we cannot keep recycling this conversation. Right? We cannot. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments and on the poll. What we've got 500 votes so far, with 70% of you saying Martial should be sold. That's an overwhelming majority down there. Look at that. We've got over 2,000 watching. Woo! 1,400 of you. Drop a like on the video. Come on in. Craig, you're saying, I've always been a Martial fan. I see the talent. Unfortunately, he can't stay fit, and then he becomes disinterested. Maybe they go hand in hand. I wish nothing more that we could go back. You know what's fucking mad? I think it was 2015 when he joined, like 7-8 years ago. Martial's been a United player for 7-8 years. Phil Jones could have a testimonial. Mad. Erik, of course, he could be sold as well. I really wish it hadn't worked in this way. But I went into this season prepared to give Martial one last hurrah, I suppose. One last opportunity to prove to me, nah, man, he can hold his fitness. We can rely on him because we're a better team with him in. We cannot and we should not be relying on that anymore. Now, it might be a case that Martial stays for one more season because we simply don't have the money required. But shit, we're getting new owners in. We should have the money required. We should be... Manchester United, I think, could very easily this summer sell Martial for somewhere between 20 and 30 million and recruit someone in that same bracket that will help far more across the course of a season than Martial will because of his injury reliability. It is what it is. Dave, packet of biscuits. Which biscuits, though? If you're selling Phil Jones, what biscuits are you going for? You going for chocolate hobnobs? Man, chocolate hobnob. What biscuit? You can absolutely wallop a whole bag of those. Dominic, that's a question, Dan. That's another question for a different video. What's his face? Thuram? Is it Thuram from Mönchengladbach? Yeah, Marcus Thuram. He's going to be available free. He didn't leave. So you've got a free agent there. It's not even 20 million. Paul, you're saying I completely agree with Martial. To me, he seems like he is a confidence player. We know he's a confidence player. Most footballers are confidence players, right? And it's sad, but I tell you what, United have got to remove a little bit of emotion from this, a little bit of sentiment. We've got to do what is best for this club. And that, in my opinion, is selling Martial, cashing in on Martial, and reinvesting that elsewhere in a player that we can rely on. We simply can't rely on him. It doesn't matter how good. It doesn't matter how good Martial is and how much he does help the team. We can't rely on him. Facundo Pellistri should be given more chances, says Abik. I think we'll be seeing Pellistri probably start against Reading. Certainly won't be starting tonight, though. Not with how much is on the line. And let's speak about it. What else have I got down here? I don't need to speak about that. Let's move on because this is a big one. Last, 5-10 minutes of the show? Let's speak about it. I was at that game. 2017 FA Cup, League Cup final between United and Southampton. Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming up with the goods. I remember that week because I went to St Etienne away and then I went to the Cup final a few days later. That was a good week. I enjoyed that. You're all saying down there, Jammy Dodgers. Jammy Dodgers for Phil Jones. Man. Don't know. I haven't had a biscuit in a while. I'm being nice and disciplined with my eating. I'm going to the gym, getting wamp. No biscuits. Jibak. Tony's on 250. Man, 250 grand a week is mad. Finding a buyer will be tricky. Stupid contract. Help me understand how we're still talking about Sesko. He's agreed to join Leipzig. Jibak, I think the logic about talking about Sesko is the fact that basically United could buy him from Leipzig before he's even kicked a ball from them for an extra 20, 30, 40 million on top of what they paid Red Bull Salzburg. That could happen realistically. He could be sold before he's kicked the ball. That's kind of why he's still being held as a conversation down there. But Zlatan, man. Big up Zlatan. Big up Stu as well. Look, Stu down there gifting 5 memberships. What an absolute don. We're nearly at 700 likes. If you can, drop a like. And I'd say like 3-4 times in a show. I don't mean to beg, but it just makes such a difference because it shows YouTube that you as a community are enjoying what we're doing. And we're talking here together. Raymond, Gotham, Maradonaldinho. That is a hell of a name. SS MUFC and Alex JB. You are the lucky 5 there. Indeed. Stu, thank you very much, dude. But look, tonight, we've got the League Cup semi-final. Yesterday, did you watch the game? Oh, that was a crap game. Newcastle 1-0 winners over Southampton. It looks like we're going to be facing Newcastle in the final. And I tell you what, bit of a kickback that. United playing Newcastle in a cup final at Wembley. Yes, please. But look, this was my team prediction for tonight. Lo and behold, I think we're going pretty much as full strength as possible. I've gone for a back 5 of De Gea, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka as fullbacks with Varane and Martinez, a midfield trio of Casemiro, Fred and Bruno with Eriksen dropping to the bench, and a front 3 of Weghorst, Rashford and Antony. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, right? Do you think that will be the starting team? If that's not going to be the starting team, what changes would you make? Eriksen's just looked too jaded in these last 2 games, man. I think he's got to be rest. I think he's got to rest, and that's why I'm putting Fred in. Down here, I think by the looks of it, oh man, what is going on here? Oh, geez, it's an absolute, someone called it a gift train. That's exactly what it is. Warren and JVD. Look at that. We hit 700 likes, and then we get 10 gifted memberships from Warren G and JVD. You can be Nate Dogg for this particular moment in time because it's Warren G and Nate Dogg coming in to regulate the community. Yeah, 10 points for me. Dippo, Chris, Kyle, Lucia, Cameron, Will, Eamon, Craig. Man, there's so many names out. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild, man. What a community. Seriously, it blows my mind. I'll say it one more time for anybody who's just joining in. Community members on the members only group, give me ideas for what I can do to give more back to this community. I need your help and your input in taking it forward. I really want to do more, but I need your help. So if you can, chat in the members only community. Let me see what you're saying down here. If that's not the starting team, we need licks and lipstick. Andy, how very dare you? How very dare you? Just because Warren's gifted 50 before. 10 is an incredibly generous gesture. It really, really is. Is Delo fit? Delo's not fit tonight, remember? Delo's not fit. Sancho's not fit. And who else was it? Martial. No, of course. Yeah, of course Martial's not fit. You're saying Weghorst for Garnacho, Rashford through the middle. It could happen. I actually had a little bit to say about it. I didn't really want to have... I can bring this up. You know, you talk about... that's a really good comment there. One of the mods, can you help me out with this one, please? We do need a Barry emoji. Let's get that sorted for the community. Absolutely. This is what Weghorst said. Well, you know, we're talking about Antony and his self-awareness. Same here for Weghorst. In the end, it's very simple. As a striker, you're judged by goals. Ten Hag indicated that attacking reinforcements were desirable. A striker, a number 9. Then it's simple. The best players, I have to force it to make minutes. So Weghorst has got that same self-awareness that Antony has got. Antony says he's got to evolve his game. Weghorst knows full well it doesn't really matter how many interceptions he makes, how much he helps the team with build-up and link-up play. He knows he needs to score goals. I have to say, I don't really think he's had many or any real opportunities at this moment in time. He's somebody who scored only 1 goal in his entire career outside the box, right? Don't be expecting Weghorst to skip past a player and crash one in from 30 yards. That will not happen. Weghorst will be scoring goals if Manchester United start controlling games more. Tonight, they're against Nottingham Forest. Should be a good example of this, I think. Because Weghorst, if we can get to the point where we're at the byline and we're getting cutbacks, we're getting crosses in, doesn't just have to be a cross because he's 6'6". The guy's good. The guy's good with his feet. Can score goals with his left foot, his right foot. I think he's done a job in his last 2 games. Away from home, hold up play, bringing others into play. I think he's done well in that sense. But we do need goals and chances for him. And we have to create that supply for him. So I think he goes into that starting 11 tonight. I don't think we see Garnacho from the start. What's your prediction? You let me know in the comments. Pharrell, you're going for a 3-0 United. Julie, You're following me. You're going for a 2-0 United. That was my prediction. I went for that prediction more for that being, I think that's what Ten Hag will be hoping for. A nice 2-0, perfect result. Dillinger, I don't disagree with that. We do need a new striker. Absolutely. It's critical. Couldn't get one of those in January, though, could we? That's all we could do was go and get Weghorst. And I still think that he's going to pleasantly surprise us across the course of this loan spell. 2-1 United, 3-1 United, 5-0 in Modo, going strong. 1-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0, 2-1. 2-0 says Dominic. 2-0, 3-1 down there. Few of you agree with me. Quite a few of you. But I'll tell you what, a lot of confidence here tonight. And you're going for a 2-1. I hope we don't concede. And I'll tell you what, I really hope we don't concede first, because conceding first, it's going to be a loud stadium tonight. No, a lot of lads who are going up and enjoying the fruits of Nottingham Forest, Nottingham, before going to the game. And Dudley, I'm not actually sure. Can anybody let me know? I think away goals do count. Is it away goal? Is this the weird competition where away goals only count in extra time? Fuck knows, I can't remember. I really, really can't remember. Ricky, I agree with you. I think Forest are going to go for it tonight. They have to get a result. Forest have to get a result tonight if they want to beat United. But we're 2 games away from a trip to Wembley and Ten Hag's first cup final as United manager. Quite a few of you saying down there in the comments about away goals not counting. That's a good thing then. I saw that actually. It was the best part of the one of the best part of the Champions League. That's what made the Champions League knockouts. It added a spice to it. I love the away goals rule. I'm really annoyed they took that away. But look, my prediction for tonight is a 2-0. This United team is flowing with confidence. We will play a strong team, and our strongest team should be putting Nottingham Forest away. And I'm going for a 2-0. Let's see if that actually happens. Little random thing to end the show with, but good vibes. I enjoyed it. Hernandez tweeting a photo with him and Wayne Rooney. Look at that too. 2 of the OGs. Mate, love those guys. I think I've said this a million times before. I regret how critical of Rooney I was after the contract situation. I fully backed Fergie, and I just dusted off my relationship with Rooney for a good while and just kind of looked at him different. Kind of regret doing that a little bit. But Hernandez, that's the strike. That's the sort of signing we need to be making. Plucking a Mexican striker from Guadalajara before the World Cup, and then him coming and just being one of the greatest poachers we've ever seen. I always remember that backwards header against Stoke. Had no right to score that. Absolutely no right to score that. Comment there from, where is it? Caught me out. Amira saying, you're going to the game tonight. I applied. I got chubbed. And I tell you what, at this moment in time, Amira, I'm struggling to go to the game. Dan, you're asking as well. I'm so busy with what I'm doing here, and it all relies on me, that at this moment in time, I'm not able to go to get. Hopefully I'm going to be going to Leeds away. That's the game I'm aiming to go for. But it's just so busy with what I'm doing that I can't really step away from it for a game, because I can't trust myself. When I go to the game, I love the sesh. What can I say? I do. I love meeting up with the lads and just getting a bit drunk. So it's not very conducive to good work. Sam, don't you think with the takeover process not being finalised before March, there won't be enough time for proper scouting and acquisition? Well, Seven Samurai, that is the aim. It does happen before the end of March, and that there is time. So I suppose it's a case of wait and see. There will be time for scouting and acquisition, because technically we've already got that. What is it, Tracker Man? I could have done a separate video on that, actually. Maybe I still will, on how Man United are looking at players. Man, there's so much going to be happening in this team. So much going to be happening at this club. And Leeds away. Yeah, I've got Leeds in the ballot, and I just don't think I can really miss out on the idea of getting to go to Ellen Road and watch United play. So you've got to tick that list. You've got to tick it off the list if you get the opportunity. So I don't think I can miss that. But look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Cracking show. Enjoyed it. Tonight, Nottingham Forest. I'll be here with my match reaction. I'll be here with my video on Martial. It's going to go out hopefully around about 12 o'clock. And Julie, you really are right. I need to bring someone on to help with research, I think. My prediction, Omar, is 2-0 tonight. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to Warren, to JVD, to Gungshi, to Stu, everybody who gifted memberships here this morning. Brilliant, guys. As I said, members, head to the Telegram after this. Throw ideas at me for what I can do for community things to give back. I want to give more back to this community, but I really need your help on that. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you soon. That's a long show, hour and 5 minutes. Might be one of the longest. Take it easy.